Hello, Green Terror Nation. Welcome to The Vault, a look back into the archives as we share great Green Terror moments as well as homecoming traditions. I'm Jess Wolverton, the Assistant Director of Athletics for Student Athlete Services.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Edelstein. I'm a senior on the Hill, and I am majoring in psychology. I'm also a member of the Green Terror Volleyball program. Today, we'll be learning more about Student Athlete on the Hill, especially during a pandemic. We also highlight some great memories in our athletic history, celebrate Greek letters on the Hill, and we need all of us to get our rally towels ready and to cheer on our Sports Hall of Fame and Alumni Association award winners.
Before we begin, I would like to talk about some of the steps and precautions athletics has taken since COVID began. Our coaches spent months working and reworking multiple phased-in plans for practice, starting with small groups and working up to full team training sessions. Throughout this all, we have learned that our coaches and athletes are incredibly resilient. They have adapted to new protocols for cleaning, new systems for laundry and equipment, and they wear masks during training to keep themselves and the McDaniel community safe, all while dealing with the lack of competition this fall. Thankfully, most of our teams are now in the initial phases of their practice plans and are getting ready to train in some capacity. There is nothing better than walking across campus and watching athletes be able to do what they love. Now I'm excited to introduce Portia Hoig, Executive Director of the Centennial Conference. Portia is one of 18 female conference commissioners in NCAA Division III athletics and the first African-American woman to ascend to the commissioner's chair at the Division III level. Throughout all NCAA divisions, she is one of 2 African-American women and 5 total at the position. She's no stranger to Division III athletics with more than 15 years of experience in the field. She has led coaches and student athletes during her work at Allegheny College and Rhodes. We are thrilled that she is joining us today to share insights on the student athlete experience.
Western Maryland, now McDaniel, has been with the Centennial Conference since our inception, when we were a football-only conference affectionately nicknamed the Egghead Eight. As we enter our 28th year as a full athletic conference, we couldn't be more proud of the tremendous student athletes, coaches, and administrators within our conference. The Centennial Conference represents the best of the best. As one of the premier Division III athletic conferences, our student athletes not only excel in their field of play, they also experience a great deal of success in the classroom. In addition to our student athletes competing at an extremely high level, they often represent some of the most engaged individuals on a given campus. These leaders perform better in the classroom while they're in season. They are also involved in many facets of campus life, from academic research to internships to volunteer work and student organizations. The Centennial Conference student athlete exemplifies greatness in academics, varsity athletics, and civic responsibility. Thank you, McDaniel College, for letting me be a part of your special homecoming celebration. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mia Wilson and Chris Green. Both are senior student athletes at McDaniel. Mia is a member on the lacrosse team. Chris is the vice president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee and also participates on the Green Terror football team. Both will share their experiences about being a current student athlete. Hi, Chris and Mia.
Thanks so much, guys. Being a fall student athlete this semester sure is different from what it has been in the past, and there certainly was a brief period of adjustment. However, my team personally has done a really good job at ensuring we can stay connected with each other. We're able to do some positional training with each other as long as we adhere to social distancing guidelines, so I still get to see my guys' faces. Personally, I'm a really positive guy, so I try to use those times together to boost everybody's mentalities, even if it's just a little bit. SAC has been great about supporting student athletes, especially in the area of information. SAC gives team leaders up-to-date announcements, which in this kind of era is very important to offer that little bit of clarity and guidance to the players. The same goes for the athletic department here. they've taken new steps and started new initiatives in hopes to better racial relations and maintain COVID regulations on the Hill. So, Mia, I know that you're a spring sport athlete. What's that been like for you?
Being a spring sport athlete here at McDaniel has been hard. Last spring, we had just started our regular season and not gotten into our conference games before our season was cut short due to the pandemic. Before we were sent home, the team worked together to put something special for the graduating seniors. We had a small senior day for our last practice of the 2019-2020 season. Also during this time, we were able to condense all of our team traditions so we did not lose them. It was really great to celebrate our seniors one last time. During the at-home stay, we had team Zooms to check in on how everyone was doing, and luckily one of our underclassmen put together a video of us doing a little passing drill to keep our spirits up for not having a season. Currently, it is very hard to get together on and off campus and still trying to stay safe. Small groups have been gathering to work out together, go for runs, and getting to know our campus and meeting our first years. As a team, we always look forward to our annual alumni game and our fall play day, but unfortunately they have been canceled. We have just been cleared to start small practices, which is really great, and I'm excited to get back out with my team. I'm excited to see what the rest of the senior year holds. Thank you for allowing us to share our experiences. Gail, do you have anything else to add?
Thanks, Chris and Mia. Being a student athlete this year has definitely been difficult. The volleyball team, like many others here on campus, has had a lot of Zoom calls, but definitely makes it a point to meet up in the gym as much as we can to work out together socially distanced. I'm so grateful for our athletic department and all their efforts to keep all of our athletes safe, but at the same time trying to get us all back to our sports as soon as possible. As SAC president, I'm really excited for all the events we also have in place for this coming semester. As crazy of times as this may be, today we celebrate all of our student athletes who have come before us. I think it's time for us to look into the vault and check out some great moments in Green Terror history.
Yes, I'm proud to introduce retired coaching legend Becky Martin. She coached the women's basketball team for 37 seasons. She has been inducted in our Sports Hall of Fame and the Carroll County Hall of Fame, and Becky retired as the winningest coach in Centennial Conference history. Joining her is Toby McIntyre, a 2004 graduate of McDaniel and member of the women's basketball team. Toby was inducted into our Sports Hall of Fame in 2015. Hi, Becky and Toby.
Thanks, Jess. Toby and I are excited to look back at some special championship teams.
So let's start off by the women's volleyball team, 1979, 1980. They won consecutive 36 games throughout D3, and I think this is the time that really had the emergence of women's collegiate sports. And Becky, I think this was your senior year. You also were able to bring home the fourth consecutive Middle Atlantic Conference title. And you even were able to beat Syracuse and West Point, who were D1 at that time. So kudos to you. And, I think that's a great track record finishing up your senior year to really bring the women's athletics into light at the time, Western Maryland College.
Thanks. I'm looking at the picture, and they definitely stirred up some dust bunnies digging that out of the vault. So moving on, in 2002, the field hockey team hosted the Centennial Conference Tournament. They beat Franklin and Marshall in the first round, 1-0. And then had to face off against Johns Hopkins, who they lost to in the regular season. The Terrors defeated the Blue Jays 1-0, winning the conference title. The team then hosted the first round of the NCAAs and remained undefeated on our home field after beating Notre Dame, the College of Notre Dame, 6-0. The second round, they were pitted against the number one team in the country, Rowan University. Unfortunately, we lost, but the 2002 team tallied a 19-4 record and garnered the sport's first Centennial Conference Championship and NCAA bid.
I think we all know that we can't talk about women's sports at McDaniel College without talking about the softball team. They have a notable 13 Centennial Conference tournament appearances, and they've earned 7 championships within that time. They've also appeared in the NCAA tournament 5 times. And during the 2012 season, although it's a total team effort, Carolyn Brem set a pitching record of 377 strikeouts that season, putting her on the D3 all-time list. And at no surprise to anyone on her team or anyone supporting the team during that time, during her junior year, she was able to achieve 396 strikeouts, which set her to the number 6 spot on the D3 list of all time.
Yeah, quite an accomplishment. We'd also be remiss without mentioning one of our most decorated women's athletes, golfer and basketball player Kelly Cramp Tomlinson, class of 2005. She was a 2-time All-America golf selection and a 4-time Centennial Conference individual golf champion. But what's also amazing is she was a fierce competitor and a 1,000-point scorer on the basketball court, earning another 3 conference titles in basketball.
Trigger player finds number 44, Snyder. She misses, put back by Felix. No, at the buzzer, no, and it's all over. It's all over. McDaniel College, for the second time in 3 years, are Centennial Conference champions. They're on to the big dance. The kids have done it, and they win a school record, 23 games, and they're not finished.
Our basketball program was privileged to win 4 conference championships and earn 4 trips to the NCAAs. But out of all those games and conference runs, your 2004 championship team and the Sweet 16 run was certainly something pretty special. So I guess at this time, we're going to reminisce a little bit and take a walk back memory lane.
All right.
So, as we talk about some of the, memories of that time and that run, I'll start out briefly. You can talk about it from a player's perspective and me from a coach's perspective. It was definitely, from a coaching perspective, a dream team and season. Players work hard and make sacrifices in the hopes of winning a championship, but only a select few are really fortunate to turn the dream into a reality during their career. Your team was talented. They were fierce competitors. They were exciting to watch, funny, and a little mischievous. So it, all those factors, pulled together, and it was just so exciting and thrilling to watch you guys win a conference championship and get to, go on to the NCAAs and, make a Sweet 16 run. So it was certainly something I'll cherish for a lifetime and something that no one can take away from you guys. You earned it.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I think what really made it special too is not only the successes on the court, but just the support that we had, not only from the school itself, but just throughout the community. There was a buzz throughout Westminster. Anytime there was a game, high fives from little kids at the time that now are D1 players themselves. It's really neat to look back and just think that we brought so many people together and packed that gym. And I'll let you tell your fond memory of looking around that gym and your court.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Well, one of the things I remember, I was in my office breaking down game film, getting ready for the first round of the NCAAs, and a colleague, the men's soccer coach at the time, John Pleviak, popped his head in my door and he said, congratulations, coach. I just want to let you know there's something really exciting happening on this campus, and it's because of your team. And he said, I got a little advice for you. He said, make sure you take time to step back and enjoy it. And I can remember looking at him and telling him, I don't have time. I've got so much to do that I'm just, so afraid that, I'll forget something. But I do remember at one point in our NCAA home game, we, it was at the end of the game and I knew we had a safe lead. And I stood up and kind of walked out on the court, which needless to say is a technical, but I stood out there and, in the middle of the play and kind of looked around, and it was just so awe-inspiring, as you said, to see 800 to 1,000 people who had packed the gym to attend the women's game. And everybody was, just so into the game, so supportive, and to see that community come together, it was phenomenal. And from somebody who, started their career at the beginning of Title IX when, you'd play and your family and roommates and some close friends might be in the gym supporting you, to see that type of excitement and that gym packed and the ruckus that was going on, you know, that was an aha moment, and something that, you know, it was a defining moment for me as a coach. It really was. So,
No, and I'll just
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, from that team, I know we've talked about it and we all still talk, but I think, you know, from my senior year team, I think if we all haven't participated in each other's weddings, we've at least attended them and are still friends 15 plus years later, regardless of what path everyone chose to pursue. And that's why we love you so much and appreciated everything you taught us off the court, not just on the court. You know, and we know that it's more than about the game, and just all appreciate that on behalf of everybody that's played for you. Appreciate that.
Oh, thanks. Because you guys were, again, it was so much fun to coach you guys and watch you guys grow and develop as athletes and players, and to see what you guys have become as professionals with your families. It's, you know, that's, you know, those are the biggest rewards for a coach. You know, when I think back also of that time, you know, you guys earned every accolade that, you know, you were given that year, but, you know, we also received some national accolades. If I recall, you know, we got a shout out from Tony Kornhauser and Michael Wilbon on ESPN's PTI, Pardon the Interruption. And after we had won the first round of the NCAAs, they gave us a shout out. And that was, you know, to hear little old Western or McDaniel College's name coming through, you know, the syndicated television show was like, wow. And then to see the spotlight as they zoomed in on Michael Wilbon's chair, and he had the McDaniel sweatshirt draped over it, was something special. And then along with that, as you're talking about accolades, one of the reasons that we were so successful was certainly the leadership that you brought that year. And Michael Wilbon proceeded to, you know, write a very complimentary and nice article about the team and your leadership, you know, and one of the reasons that we were successful that year is, you know, your Pied Piper leadership with that team and keeping everybody on the right path, and everybody bought into the dream, and they did what it took to, you know, to win. It wasn't easy, you know, it was a roller coaster ride the entire time, but it was something certainly something very special. The last thing for me as a coach that, you know, I remember is, you know, when we won the conference championship, watching you guys climb the ladder and cut down the nets. The infamous tradition of cutting down the court net, the game net, you know, and seeing the excitement on everybody's face as they're climbing the ladder and, you know, cutting a piece of the net. That's a unique experience, to say the least. So.
Yeah, it's a little bit better to do it on your rival's home court too, right?
Oh, it was pretty sweet. It was pretty sweet, to say the least. So, but I guess maybe we should wrap this up.
Yeah, no, and I mean, listen, I mean, I think we're all under unfortunate circumstances with this pandemic. I wish that I was sitting there right next to you reminiscing about a lot of things beyond just the 2004 season, but it was a very special time, and there's nothing like coming back to the Hill to reminisce with former teammates and especially coaches, and you included. So thank you for that.
Appreciate it, Toby. And needless to say, it's always a pleasure walking down memory lane with you. We kind of grew up together in some respects. So, all right, as we move on, there are a few more moments to share. And at this point, it's my pleasure to introduce DeMarcus White, head coach of the Green Terror football team. He's joined by Tom Lapato, a 1999 graduate of the college who captained the football team. Hi, guys.
I definitely remember some of those moments from my time on the Hill. And before I share a few of the moments that I want to share with you guys, I have a question for Coach White, and it's probably at the top of all of our minds. How does a football team stay connected during this time of COVID?
Thanks, Tom. I think that's a really good question. One of the things that we're doing to stay connected is we're really utilizing the virtual and remote tools that we have and resources that we have out there through Microsoft Teams and Zoom. We're able to stay connected with our players through team meetings, unit meetings, and then we also use this device to be able to host study halls. And really, it's just having an opportunity to get a chance to see each other's faces on the screen.
Cool. So it must be like an extended off season right now. And I always knew when I was on the Hill, the most frustrating time was going through the spring workouts, waiting for the games to begin again. But besides the competition, what are the major challenges you and the team are working through?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest challenges is for our guys to stay focused and have in their minds that there will be a season. There will be a season either in the spring or next fall. And obviously we're all keeping hope, pressing forward that we will be able to join each other and get back on the Hill this spring. So I think that that's one of the major challenges that we have in front of us. And the other piece I would add to that, just kind of having a pretty good pulse on our program right now. I think the guys are becoming a little bit restless at times, having a lot of time on their hand and having an opportunity to either not having the opportunity to being able to get out there and work out with their teammates through weightlifting, through field training. They're learning a whole new normal for themselves. And I think that that's been pretty challenging. It's just time management and balancing out their time throughout their day.
I can't wait till they get back on the field. It's going to be an amazing thing before I see all that adrenaline and all that pent up competition and anger kind of come out on the gridiron on that first game back. So can't wait until we get there. Speaking of competition, we're here to really talk about a lot of the great memories that we've had on the Hill, and especially in the Green Terror athletic history. And so maybe I'll start with that one that I'm sure that's top of everybody's mind. The 1959 men's soccer team downing the national champion Drexel in the second game of the season on the way to a 9-1-1 season. And from that team, George Varga being the top scorer ever for the Green Terror. He netted 34 goals in that year. Not sure how many against Drexel, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't writing that up on inferior competition. But going back, that's one of our major highlights on the Hill.
Follow up with you, Tom, and just give a brief moment of a highlight for the 1978 men's lacrosse team. They brought home the college's first ever MAC championship. So great job there, folks. With a great year in recruiting during their all season, they were able to bring home another title in 1979. So back-to-back championship years there. They achieved a perfect record in league play, defeating Gettysburg, and we all love those guys up the road, 6-4 in their last game of the season.
Another one that's actually near and dear to my heart is the success that our men's golf team has had over the years. Big shout out to Scott Moyer, Mike Deal, in leading this team. They've won 7 conference championships, Centennial Conference championships since 1998, and equaled as many trips to the NCAAs, just as many times. And I think the only thing that could have been better is if they would have done that with a 16 handicap like myself. But they're doing it with the real deal team. No pun intended, Mike. And then, certainly a key highlight of that was the 2008 team and their trip to the Nationals as well.
Next up is Brad Brooks from the class of 2016. What a machine Brad was in the pool. Brad was a 4-time All-American. In his 4 Centennial Conference championships, he'd earned 10 gold medals, 2 silver medals as well. Also in 2016, Brad was a NCAA Elite 90 Academic Recognition Award recipient for having the highest cumulative GPA amongst all participants that year in Division III Men's Swimming Championships. Hey, way to go, Brad.
Pretty sweet, and really ties into the student athlete mission that we have here at McDaniel. Unfortunately, I get to present all the sports that I'm not really qualified to ever participate in, and this is another good example where, since 1994, McDaniel's had 44 wrestling champions, and we've turned out 14 All-American selections in this, and nothing but respect to see those guys who were always working out in the bowels of Gill Gymnasium to earn those accolades. Along that line with those accolades, we had two-time selections for All-American, and one of our Green Terror favorites, Block Clefetti, was a 3-time selection. So that's pretty rare air right there.
It's an honor and it's a privilege for me to bring to you Mr. Broderick Maybank from the class of 2006, representing the McDaniel College Track and Field program. What a champion this individual was. All 4 years on campus, he was able to bring home a Centennial Conference championship. He was also named Conference Athlete of the Year in 2004 and repeated this success in 2006. But if that wasn't enough, in 2004, he was named All-American, and then he was crowned the highest representation in college sports, and that's becoming a national champion in the long jump event. Way to go, Mr. Maybank. We are extremely proud of you, and way to represent us all on the Hill.
Next up on the list is Carl Van Tobel. Carl is a big man, according to all the pictures out there that you see regarding him on campus. Well, folks, you need to know that he threw 8 feet more than the second place winner to snag the top prize in 1996. Also, I will add in there, probably the most important piece is Carl was an NCAA national champion. He was also a 4-time All-American. How about that? And was a part of the Green Terror football team.
And Carl's near and dear to my heart, was a teammate of mine on the football team. A lot of people don't realize he has another record in the record books, and he once threw a freshman further than he threw the javelin in our football camp. So Carl's very special, and again, a good representative athlete for our football team and our track teams.
Speaking of football, I know homecoming on the Hill was a special place to be. The Hill was full with people coming together and cheering on the team, connecting with family and friends out there. But Tom, what I want to know is more about, and what I want to hear about, is the 1997 conference championship. Did you guys have a clue, and did you have any idea in your mind that that year you guys will come out on top as conference champions?
Thanks, Coach White. I know, that was a special time, and by the time we got to homecoming, that's a day I'll always remember. We played Franklin and Marshall that year, and by that point, I think that was about our 6th game into the season, and we went from most games probably having about 1,000 people added to, and homecoming maybe 2,500 or 3,000. It just felt like that game, the floodgates opened, and there wasn't any room on the Hill for that. So I think we all knew something special was happening. I don't know if we knew exactly how it would turn out that part of the season, but that was definitely a key milestone. I think going back and speaking for a lot of my teammates, the 3rd game of the season against those hated Bullets from Gettysburg, we went up there, and a lot of folks that say there hasn't been so much bloodshed since the Civil War at Gettysburg, and we won that game 55-7, and really just a lot of special plays, a lot of things came together. I think a lot of us would kind of point to that as kind of knowing something was a little bit different. What was really special about that 97 season was coming off a disappointing '96 season where we were 4-6 that year, but we started the season 0-4 and really finished with the bang. So I think we were all hungry coming into that year, and then each week built upon itself to the point where, after that homecoming game and into the latter part of the season, it's cliched, but we really tried to, we had to struggle. It was hard, but we had to figure out how to take each week one week at a time. We had a kind of backloaded schedule with a lot of competition, and it really all culminated on a kind of cold, damp, wet, muddy day at Bear Stadium there against Johns Hopkins, where we were able to win 21-3 and kind of put a cherry on top of the Sunday there with a conference championship, an undefeated season, our first college championship since I think our first football championship since 1963. So and good things kept happening from there. We made it to nationals and started a run of 6 straight championships, Centennial Conference championships, and a number of consecutive visits to the NCAA playoffs. So definitely a special time.
Hey, thanks, Tom. And I really appreciate all of your feedback and your viewpoints from those mighty years here on the Hill. And this is something that I think that our program now can benefit from, of just hearing from those great times and those great memories, to be able to propel ourselves moving forward and understanding what it takes to be a champion and what it takes to be extremely competitive day in and day out. So I learned a ton from that message that you just gave all of us in the Green Terror Nation. And what we're hoping is that we can continue along the path and continue this with the success that we already have shown that we are capable of here on the Hill.
Coach, I love the mottos and the work ethic ethos that you put forward in the social media and with the team. So that makes us all proud as alumni. And I would say, I'll speak for my teammates in saying that we can't wait until you break all our records. So best of luck.
Hey, that's going to be a tough task, right? That's a tall glass that we have to fill, being able to come close to you guys. But we really pride ourselves on really what the program dating back during that run of those championship years were built on. And it was really toughness, mental toughness and physical toughness. Then another thing that we like to talk about in our program now is protecting the team and protecting you guys, right? And protecting those valuable jewels out there, like guys like yourselves, right? And keeping you guys relevant, because every day that we have the opportunity to come together and step on the field, we're representing all of the folks that put on equipment here in the football program. And then lastly, making big time where you're at. We talk about that a lot, in our program, and the reason why is McDaniel College and the Hill, the Bowl is big time. There's no better place in college football than being able to stand on the sideline and then getting the energy, and then also being able to see the tailgating that occurs really in college football, that parking lot actually comes into the bowl. It's nothing better. It's nothing better than that in college football. And so this is big time. McDaniel College is big time, and big time is where we're at. And that's where our 10 toes are. And that's right here on our turf here at McDaniel College. We love it.
We talk about at work that COVID's a disruptor, but with that disruption comes opportunity. So I'm glad you guys are working hard, and look forward to you guys reaping the benefits of that. And we're very excited and proud of you guys.
Absolutely. We really appreciate your continued support. Swing the hammer, stay tough out there. I'm proud to introduce to you folks Dustin Miller, a 2019 graduate. During his time on the Hill, Dustin played football for the Green Terror football team and served as the president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. Hey, Dustin.
Thanks so much, Coach. It was great to hear from all of you and learn more about amazing sports moments. Typically, today is a day where many of us would return home to the Hill. We would get there early to claim our spot around the Stadium Bowl. Then we'd check out volleyball and the soccer games and come back to cheer on the Green Terror football team. Green Terrors spanning decades would swarm the Hill, anxious to catch up with each other. And many of you would be celebrating milestone reunions. We know that this homecoming isn't anything like we've ever experienced, but the health and safety of each Green Terror is important. So, to celebrate all those classes who have come together on the Hill today to mark their milestone reunions, we dug into the yearbooks for a few memories to share with you.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Gelber and I'm the Director of Student Engagement here at McDaniel College. I know that homecoming for students has changed, and while we can't celebrate in person, it is homecoming and I can feel your energy and excitement from afar.
Hi, I'm Mariama. I am a sophomore. I'm the president of the Students of Caribbean Ancestry Club. My favorite McDaniel tradition is probably our McDaniel local because that's really the only tradition we've experienced with the pandemic. I really like it because it's where I met some of my closest friends so far.
Hi, welcome to Homecoming 2020. My name is Alexander Ochosajo, and I had the honor of being freshman eminence last year for our homecoming court. I'm currently a sophomore majoring in accounting and sociology with a minor in communications and Africana studies. I just want to say that we miss everybody on the Hill and we can't wait to see you guys at next year's homecoming. Thank you.
Greek life has been altered because of COVID-19, but to give a sense of normalcy during these times, our Greek students are painting letters on the Hill as I speak. We had to have specific sign-up times to make sure that social distancing was practiced, and it will take about 5 days to get them finished. We will be showing them off and announcing the winners via social media, so be sure to check back to see if your favorite Greek chapter has won. The Brandt Cup will not be given out this year due to COVID cutting our last academic year short. Because of this, AST will hold on to the cup for one more year. Thank you from the Hill and stay safe.
We hope everyone is having fun. Marilyn Keene, class of 94, will announce our Sports Hall of Fame inductees.
Get out your rally towels and to give a cheer for your fellow Green Terrors. Take it away, Marilyn.
Thanks so much, Jess and Gail. It is my honor to announce this year's Fellowship of Champions and Sports Hall of Fame inductees. Fellowship of Champions. Riker Eckenberger, class of 2020, individual champion in wrestling. Marlo Embry, class of 2021, All-American volleyball. Jackson Riley, class of 2020, All-American men's lacrosse. Sports Hall of Fame inductees. Virginia Ginny Wilson Shockley, class of 1927, women's basketball. Hazel Coleman Groff, class of 1938, women's basketball. Jean Luckabow, class of 1958, field hockey, women's basketball, softball. Sandra Lucille Rader, class of 1965, women's basketball, tennis, field hockey. Tom Lopato, class of 1999, football. David Hose, class of 2002, Masters of Science 2004, men's outdoor track. Drew Reinecker, class of 2004, football and wrestling. Thomas Kane, class of 2005, men's soccer. Diana Rosemeyer Humphrey, class of 2008, softball. Congratulations to our 2020 Fellowship of Champions and Sports Hall of Fame inductees.
Congratulations to all of you. Way to go.
And rounding out our time together today is the official announcement of our Alumni Association Award winners by the committee chair, Lee Prim, class of 1989. But before we do that, thanks to each and every one of you for joining us today to learn how our student athletes and coaches are adjusting their game plans for this year. We hope you enjoyed the trip down memory lane and look forward to celebrating with you in person at homecoming on the Hill next fall.
Get out those rally towels one last time today to celebrate our amazing Alumni Association Award winners.
Thank you for the introduction, Jess. It's my honor to announce this year's Alumni Association Award winners. The fact that most of these award winners were students under the umbrella of Western Maryland College, I thought it appropriate that I should wear my Western Maryland College sweatshirt. So in commemoration of all of you who graduated from Western Maryland College, this is for you. Our first award winner, Aaron Slaughter, class of 2010, Young Alumni Award. Congratulations, Aaron. C. Downey Price, MD, class of 1962, and Edna Bent Price, his wife, Alumni Community Service Award. Nupur Parikh Flynn, class of 1994, Alumni Community Service Award. Priscilla A. Ord, class of 1963, Alumni College Service Award. James Wilberger, class of 1972, Alumni College Service Award. Dr. David Carrasco, class of 1967, Honorary DHL Alumni Professional Achievement Award. Dr. Alex G. Ober, class of 1963, Master of Education, 1969, Alumnus of the Year. Congratulations, Alex. And congratulations to all of our 2020 Alumni Association Award winners.
From each heart will be ever